Good morning, students. Welcome to the virtual classroom. We are in our last lecture we have studied related to the redox reaction. Today we are going to start with a new chapter. The chapter number 10 is block elements. Now, all of you have studied it in our third chapter, periodic table. Right? We know it that we have classified the periodic table into four groups: S, P, D and F block. The first and the second group of the periodic table, they are termed as S block elements, because the last electron that enters in the S orbital, so we term it as an S block elements. When we are going it for P block, that means we will be having it as in group number 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18, where the last electron is entering in the P block, P orbitals, right? 3 to 12, the group number 3 to 12, they are considered to be as in D block elements, because the last electron will enter in the D orbital. Similarly, the F block elements that are separated into the periodic table and shown it below the periodic table at the end in a form of two periods, which are termed as lanthanoids, actinoids. They are having it as an electron centered in the F orbitals. The S block elements, they are having specifically only two groups. The reason is S orbital can hold maximum 2 electrons. So it is having it as an only two groups. We are having it as an the S block in the periodic table as group 1, which is termed as alkali metals, and the second we will be having it as in group 2, which is termed as alkaline earth metals. Particularly, the first group elements, they are termed as alkali metals. The reason is, these alkali metals, when they are forming their hydroxides, group 1 alkali metals, the name is given to it because their reaction with water produces hydroxides which are alkaline, that is basic in nature. They are basic in nature, so they are termed as an alkali metals. Particularly, if we talk about this group, which are the elements present in it? Li, Na, K, Rb, Cs, Fr. Particularly in the group 1, we will be having it as an lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium. Right? Hydrogen is also a part of it. But as we know it, that the position of an hydrogen in the periodic table is yet not completely satisfactory for the first group. Neither it is satisfactory for the 17th group. So it is placed in center, and that's the reason why we don't include it in this group. We studied it completely as a separate element. Right? We are having it as in chapter number 9 also to be studied, that is known as hydrogen, particularly a separate whole chapter also. Right? So in this group 1, we are taking it as an only metals. The second factor that is not included in this is hydrogen is non-metal. We wrote it alkali metals. So particularly we are taking it only metals in it. Out of which francium, it's a radioactive element. It's a radioactive, highly reactive. It decomposes itself very easily. Particularly francium, the half-life of francium is 21 minutes. That is, within 21 minutes, if you would have taken it 1 kilogram, after 21 minutes you would be having only 500 grams without any kind of a chemical reaction or without any kind of an external work done on it. Because it's a radioactive, it emits alpha, beta, gamma radiations and decomposes itself and gets converted into a half of it. That means 500 gram will be left out. If you would have taken 500, after 21 minutes you will have it as an only 250. So the definition of half-life means the time required for the component to decompose itself into half of its initial concentration. Right? Francium needs 21 minutes. Right? So these type of radioactive compounds, it's a very difficult to handle or very difficult to go for its chemical reactions. So whatever we are going to study only about the rest of the 5 elements: lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium and cesium. So whatever we are going to study about the alkali metals, within this chapter also we are going to study about 5 of it. For the francium, because it's radioactive and half-life is 21 minutes, we don't go for any kind of a chemical reaction, or neither the scientist, or you can say that these chemical properties or physical properties of these compounds are still under studies by the different scientists, right? So we will be studying this. Okay, at the same time, the point, if I put it, electronic configuration, then we are going to get it as Li, Na, K, Rb, Cs. We will be having it as 2s1, 3s1, 4s1, 5s1, 6s1 as an outermost electronic configuration. If you consider it the rest inert gas configuration, then you can write its configuration very easily by indicating it: helium 2s1, neon 3s1, argon 4s1, helium, neon, argon, krypton and xenon. So that is what we are going to get it as an electronic configuration. As a result, this is given out as its general electronic configuration is written out as NS1, right? That is for its electronic configuration. Now, if we go it for its other properties, other general trends that we can find out for this group, then in it, the next one we are going to get it, that is related to the atomic radii. Now we know it. Atomic radii means what? We have defined it. The distance between the nucleus and outermost electron. That is considered to be as an atomic radii. Now we know it that this is our nucleus. 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s. That means as I move it top to bottom, what is going to happen? The distance between the nucleus and outermost electron is going to be increasing. As a result, what we can say that atomic radii from top to bottom increases. Atomic radii of an element from top to bottom, we are going to get it as an increase. The reason is, as we move from the 1s2, 2s2, 3, we are going to get it as distance to be more. So you can say that atomic radii that is Li, Na, K, Rb, Cs, right? Okay. As well as what we are going to get it is, we studied it in our periodic trends in the 3rd chapter, that when I am moving from top to bottom it shows that it is increasing, but if I move from left to right, atomic radius decreases, and these are the first group. So that means on the leftmost side of the periodic table. So the atomic radius of these elements is largest of their period. In the period, they are the largest in the size, because left to right atomic radius decreases, and these are all the elements of the left side. So lithium, it's the biggest of its group period of the second period. That means lithium will be biggest compared to that of next one, beryllium, boron, nitrogen, oxygen, oxygen, fluorine and neon, right? Sodium, it's the biggest compared to that of magnesium, aluminium, silicon, then phosphorus, then you are having sulfur, chlorine and argon, right? So in the periodic table they are the largest. Then the next trend we are having, it is a ionic radii. Now all these elements Li, Na, K, Rb, Cs, Fr, all these elements has a tendency to lose one electron. All of them loses one electron. As a result, what happens? Li plus, Na plus, K plus, Rb plus, Cs plus. But they are removing the electron from their outermost orbit, but still the orbitals are going to increase. All of them are having a tendency to lose their one electron. So in that case, if I go for the configuration Li plus, I am going to get it as helium 2s 0. If I take it Na plus, I am going to get it as Ne, K plus, argon, Rb plus, krypton, Cs plus, xenon. So that electrons are removed from this orbital, but still atomic radius, ionic radii. Now we will be having it as an ionic radii. Ionic radii increases down the group. That is, we are going to get it Li small than Na, Li plus small than Na plus, K plus, Rb plus, Cs plus. So we are going to get it in the form of top to bottom, it will increase, right? Okay. Next we will be having it as a ionic radii. Ionization energy. The next point we will be discussing it is see, all these points we have already discussed in a form of general trends in the chapter number 3, right? Here we are studying it specifically for blocks, that means S block, P block, D and F. We will be having S block and P block in the 10th and 11th. We will be having only 2 of them as a P block. Rest of the periodic table you will be studying it in the standard 12th. So it is necessary that you should know the complete periodic table, right? In the third chapter itself I told you that keep on learning the complete periodic table. Step by step it will be necessary that we should study all the periodic tables, the complete periodic table, right? Okay, let's see what is an ionization energy. Ionization energy means the amount of the energy required to remove the electron from its outermost orbit, right? Again, amount of the energy required to remove the electron from the outermost orbit. Now if the attraction is more, energy required will be more. If the attraction is less, amount of the energy required will be less. We know it that I am moving from top to bottom. Atomic radius is increasing. That means force of attraction decreases. Now, in group 1, down the group, attraction decreases. Hence, energy required to remove electron from its outermost orbit becomes orbit also decreases. That is ionization energy decreases down the group. Ionization energy decreases down the group, right? Okay, next one we are having, it is a hydration energy. Now, hydration energy means what? The amount of the energy that is required to absorb water molecules. Certain particles, when they are exposed to the atmosphere, from the atmosphere, they get it water of crystallization. They get it water absorbed on them, and that at that time the energy that is changed, the change in the energy is considered to be as an hydration energy. Now this depends upon the size of the atoms. It depends upon the size of the element in which the water is going to be absorbed. That is, it shows that if size increases, hydration energy decreases. The hydrogen energy, if the size increases, hydration energy decreases. That is, top to bottom, it will decrease. Hydration energy in the group 1, it will decrease. That hence Li has highest hydration energy. It forms very easily. Li plus forms LiCl dot 2H2O. It can absorb water molecule very easily. So that shows that its size has been the smallest of the group. It's the smallest of the group, highest energy. So hydration energy depends upon size of the particle. Okay, these were the general trends that we have gone through. Now let's do it some of its chemical properties. Right? If we go it for the chemical properties of it, these are the general trends that we have seen it, or you can say that these were the general physical properties of the group 1. Now the next one, if we take it as chemical properties, the first one, that is reactivity towards hydrogen. Now, when we will discuss about the reactivity towards the hydrogen, then what we can say that these elements, they are going to react with the hydrogen very easily. They are the metals. Group 1 elements are metals. They very easily forms M plus. Hence, hydrogen has to gain electron. Therefore, it forms hydrides. That is, hydrogen is in -1 oxidation state. So we are going to get it as H minus, -1 oxidation state. As a result, each of these elements, metals, they react with H to form MH, right? But particularly we know that hydrogen, when we are going to get it from the atmosphere, we are going to get it in the form of H2. So we write it, the general reaction is 2M plus H2, 2MH, right? This is in the general format, but at the same time, we are going to form it as an metal hydrides, and these are going to be a solid compounds. These metal hydrides are hard solids having high melting points, right? As well as they are ionic solids in, that means they are going to form an ionic bond by donating and gaining of electron. They are going to form an ionic bond, right? So that is reactivity towards the hydrogen. We get it as 2M plus H2, 2MH, or you can also write it as M plus H minus MH, or again, if I want to write the reaction, I can also write it this reaction in the form of 2M plus H2, that is going to get it as 2M plus H minus, right? They are going to gain electrons, right? They are going to here 2M plus, that means we are going to get it as a balanced reaction to write it as 2 electrons also indicated with it. Okay, so that is for the reaction with hydrogen. Okay, next, reactivity towards the oxygen, right? We got it one with hydrogen. Next one, we will study the reactivity towards the oxygen. Again, all these metals, they are going to react with oxygen to form metal oxide. But what is the specific of this? These elements reacts with oxygen to form metal oxides in different oxidation states of oxygen. That is, lithium reacts with oxygen. When lithium is reacting with oxygen, it is going to form lithium oxide, Li2O. we are going to get it in the form of oxide, metal oxide, that is oxygen is in -2 oxidation state. For this lithium, it is having it as an oxygen with -2 oxidation state. Similarly, when I will take it as sodium, sodium reacts with oxygen to form Na2O2. That means here it is forming it as an peroxide. That means oxygen is in -1 oxidation state. It's in the form of peroxide. That is, oxygen is in a -1 oxidation state. Metal reacts with oxygen to form K2O, M2O. Here M is KRBCS. Here we are getting it, MO2. Metal reacts with oxygen. Here it is in the form of superoxide. That is, oxygen is in -1 oxidation state. It is forming superoxide. So that shows that lithium produces oxide, sodium produces peroxide, and rest of the elements, potassium, rubidium, cesium, are producing superoxides. Right? That means their oxidation states are different. For oxide -1, peroxide, oxide -2, peroxide -1, and the superoxides are in a -1/2. Only alkali metals are the elements which produces superoxides, right? Of the complete periodic table, only these are the 3 elements which are capable of producing superoxides, right? Okay. Additional to it, when we are having it as a reaction with nitrogen, then this is a particularly the smallest of it. The reason is it's only the lithium which reacts with the nitrogen. Only Li reacts with N2. It produces Li plus N2. It produces Li3N. So that means if I want to balance it, I will be getting it as in 2, 6. 6 Li plus N2. It's only the lithium who reacts. Only lithium. Rest of the elements of this periodic table, they don't react with nitrogen to form nitrates. Right? Okay. For today, that's enough. We have already studied it as a 3 of the chemical properties. Rest of the chemical properties, we will study it in our next lecture. Till then, thank you.